Day one, and day one was wild. We were able to feature, of course, Team Vitality come back. We saw CranKy Gaming, among many other teams, and we had some pretty bang of matches. But now, here tonight, we have even more. Day number 2. Up first, we have Team Liquid versus Psystorm Gaming / NV. Basically a union here of two different teams of Psystorm and Na'Vi. And honestly, it's going to really bolster the team here of Psystorm Gaming. Psystorm did struggle last season after they lost Spirit. As a reminder, last season in WTL, Spirit did leave Psystorm Gaming. He joined Na'Vi instead, and as a result, Spirit did leave the team halfway through the season. Psystorm Gaming struggled thereafter, did well for themselves regardless. Players like Namchar did step up, did step in, but now Spirit, he's back. He's back with this team unison here, and we have our lineups. Cure versus Gerald, Elazer versus MaxPax, and SKillous versus Spirit. Oh boy, that's going to be quite a lineup here, quite a number of matches, and this is going to be a close one, I feel. It's going to be quite a close one. MaxPax, of course, the best Protoss player in all of Europe, going up against Elazer. We have Cure versus Gerald up first. And Cure, of course, one of the best Terrans in the world. Gerald has been improving so much over these past couple of years. I would say Gerald is cementing himself more and more as one of the best Protoss in all of Europe. Has yet to really showcase that at or on a stage, essentially, at the highest level of play. But I'm here for it as Gerald. What do I see on his face? Hold on, we gotta zoom in. We gotta zoom in, papi. What do I see on his face? I see what looks to be the beginnings of a mustache. It's coming back. Look, it's still in its infancy. It's still like in its baby stages, but papi, the mustache, it's coming. It's been years, papi. It's been years. Oh my god, it's been far too long since we've seen Gerald flex his facial hair, but it could be on the way. It could be on the horizon here. Anyway, we're getting ready for our TVP, but I'm excited. I'm definitely excited here. Gerald, that's one of the notable features of him, was like his fancy mustache that he did once have, but did lose it quite some time ago, but maybe he's found it. Maybe he has found it in the end. As game number 1 is going to be on Crimson Court between Cure and Gerald. I want to give the edge to Cure, but we're diving into game 1, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Team Liquid Cure. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have a Psystorm Gaming, Gerald. Catching up in the chat. First mustache back, then return to the endless room. True. We'll be back then. We'll be back. As a shout out to the team, to the tournament sponsors here, Bilbil, Autoful, SC Boy, and Doyu. Massive shout out here to the sponsors. Meanwhile, predictions in the chat are open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold. Best of luck with your predictions as they're about to close in a couple of seconds. Also, a shout out to Icetown in the chat as well, as we did have a resubscription for 16 months. Thank you so much, Icetown, for the support. Having won the audience's heart is a good thing, unless you're a cannibal. The hell you on about? What are you saying? Is that not a good thing if you're a cannibal as well? It means that you get to eat, right? It means that you're not going to go hungry. Eat all the fans. So settling into our game. As a reminder, Crimson Court is going to be game 1, and it is predetermined ahead of time. Both Cure and Gerald, I'm sure, have been preparing for the past couple of days for this map, for this matchup. And what do we have to offer? My eyes are on Gerald. Cure, of course, is coming in as a favored player, but Gerald can cause an upset, can bring it to Cure on a good day. On a good day, on a good night, Gerald can compete with Cure. We'll see. For now, we have a Zealot first. Interesting. So it's going to be a double gas opener here out of Cure. Double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. So a much more aggressive build from the side of Cure. Meanwhile, Gerald back at home going for a Gate Cyber Expand standard opener as well. I believe we canceled the initial Zealot. I'm not so certain if we did complete it. It's going to be sent across the map. But now I believe it was cancelled, and Reaper is moving out to apply some pressure to get some scouting information to get a read on the tech opener of Gerald. Whether Gerald goes for a Twilight Council, Stargate, or Robo, yet to be determined, and Cure is going to be there to figure it out. Because he does manage to get across the map, applying some pressure behind this, getting into Reaper Hellion production. Not too many though, not too big of an investment. Just making one Reaper at a time. Believe we didn't have the reactor prioritized or anything like that. And as the army gets forced back, as Reaper gets forced back, we have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Stargate. This is going to be a Stargate opener out. Gerald, this should be for, I imagine, Phoenix production. We could go Oracle first if we wanted to be a little bit spicy. But my eyes are on Gerald. As behind this, we see Curie committing into his 1-1-1. Getting into our add-ons, getting into our reactor. Ooh, looks like today the connection to the clean feed may be a little bit shaky. Honestly, things were quite clean yesterday. Like, there was no issues whatsoever with the connection. Hopefully that continues to be the case here today. Otherwise, I will reach out. We'll let them know if something is up. But now, Reaper Hellion dipping in towards the natural. I'll go here to break through the defensive line of Adepts, and it looks like, ooh, we do not break through. Shield battery is not in time. Adept on the high ground, Hellion goes down, but 3 Reapers, they make their way into the main base. We do get a full scout off. We get eyes on not just the Stargate, we get eyes on the Oracle as well. Nice scout there from Cure. Hellion doesn't go in, but is now aware that Oracles are on the way, and Cure is going to be getting ready back at home. We do have Widow Mines, Cyclones in production, Marines as well. Cure should not lose too much of this. Shouldn't lose too much. Widowmine's in position. The Oracle has to be careful here as Elgato! As we fly too close to the sun, Mine Shot goes off and the Oracle goes down. Ooh, big reaction from Gerald on cams. And not happy about that. That's a big pick off here from Cure. Just like that, the opener of Gerald falls on its face. And we have a second Oracle on the way, but unfortunately we won't have one-shot potential. That Oracle not going to be as potent as it otherwise would have been. So already an amazing start here for Cure. Is moving out. Now that he's up with the Oracle, there's nothing keeping him back at home. We are committing. And we'll see if Gerald can hold on to his third. We shall see. As Gerald does reposition his Oracle, staying back at home as well. Does want the push. Get eyes on the push. Cyclone moving forward as well. We have the Viking to help zone away that Oracle. And we have a decent defensive position here at the natural, but what about the third? As Curie goes right for it. And Pylon is going to be targeted down. Overcharge gets wasted. But the army should be able to force back the Terran. Here comes the second Cyclone. Second Cyclone has arrived, forcing back the army. Big lock-ons here onto those Stalkers. We're bleeding out Marines. And it looks like Gerald will save his base. Gerald, he barely does hold on to his third. Barely does hold on. Behind this, Cure getting into his 3-1-1 setup. Bubbling it up with tank production, Ravens, the rest of the bio, no mech of any kind. Of course. The Liberator slips into the main, getting a lot of damage done here. 4 or 5 probes go down. Oof. A lot of economic damage dealt, and a lot of lost mining time as well. Lots of lost mining time. The Liberator gets cleaned up. 6 probe kills in total. And honestly, Cure's in a really nice position here. He's been able to hinder the economy. He shut down the opener as well. Did delay the blink of Geralt, did delay his follow-up tech. Now we are pushing out. Geralt, he runs into the main army, but the Oracle is gonna try to skirt its way around. Never mind, we do pull back. Pulling back from there. And yeah, Cure, he's free to get his third base up and running and just saturate from here. And nothing really holding him back. Stalkers they dive before they get 1 SCV. Get a worker, they threaten the bases, they keep Cure contained. And Gerald, how do we bounce back? 4th base. We have a 4th Nexus on the way. We're taking up into charge, into +1 armor. Temple Archives on the way for Archon production and Storm, I imagine. Here, sneaking up on that Oracle. But Gerald, he's at least working on that next step. Does deny a depot. The scary thing here is that Cure is going to outscale Gerald. What I mean by that is that Cure, he's already up to 63 SCVs. His army size is already quite large, and it's going to get even larger. Storm is going to be the saving grace for Gerald, with some juicy connections with some big storms, and we can hold, we can make up for a supply deficit. It's going to be a big if, though. Stasis trap is spotted. Cure is going to be pushing. Storm still not even halfway done, and Stim is about to finish, by the way. And Chris timing here, and ooh, we take some extra hits. A bit of rough movement there from Gerald. Cure forcing his way up the ramp. Pushing on through, does get within range of the Nexus. And this forward base, it's going to go down. There's no saving it. We need that Storm. It's still not done. We need more time. Massive anti-armor missile on the entire army. We snipe one of the High Templar. We disable the other. We didn't even need to. Storm finishing up in 5 seconds. Elazer coming from behind. When we do get one Storm off, just barely. Despite that, we focus out almost every single Stalker. One Stalker escapes. And Cure, he still has too much. Yeah, just snowballing out of control. Gerald just too far behind. Just too much of a rough start to the game. Overcharge is popped. Mind shot's going off as well, forcing friendly fire. But Cure, he's overwhelming. He's overwhelming the Protoss army. We still want forward to focus down the last High Templar. There was only the one Storm. And Geralt is running out of steam, running out of units. We're down to 2 Stalkers. We're desperately warping in a handful of Zealots. The final Stalker goes down. It's only the Zealots left. And GG gets called. Cure takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of Cure. Again, able to shut down the initial Oracle, which was massive. Able to get a couple of worker kills. Liberator was popping off as well. Just a solid game there from Cure. Geralt, unfortunately, just had a hard time getting into his opener, getting into his build. The initial Stargate opener didn't do anything. It set him behind more than anything. It was a big investment getting into 2 Oracles, and what did they really do in the end for Geralt? Same with the Phoenix as well. Because of that, Blink was delayed, upgrades were delayed, like the +1 Forge upgrades, like everything was just set behind. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Cure takes the first game, but we're getting ready for game number 2. It's going to be Geralt's map of choice, and I'm sure he's coming in prepared. And what is our map? Golden Aura. Okay. Now, this is the power of WTL. Even if you start off with a loss, you already come in with a plan. A man with a plan. Geralt, he has been thinking, planning how he wants to approach and what build he wants to whip out against Cure. His plan here is Golden Aura. Now, on this map, you can be quite secure on 3 bases. I wonder if Geralt maybe plans on being a little bit more defensive, getting into a longer game in a much more stable economy. That would make sense here. Geralt isn't the most aggressive of players. I'm not really feeling too much of an all-in, but I am feeling a Twilight Council opener. We'll see. We shall see, but a Twilight Council opener would make a lot more sense, as here we go. We're getting into game 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Cure for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have his opponent, we have Geralt for Psystorm Na'Vi. See in the chat, hello, does somebody know why Clem is not taking part in this match? That is a good question. I believe his EPT matches are not clashing with this, so I don't think it's related to EPT. I have to imagine if Clem isn't here, it's because he's not available for some other personal reason. That's just a guess, but again, especially against a team as massive as Psystorm Na'Vi, a team with MaxPax, Spirit, and Geralt, Team Liquid would want to field their A-team. They would want to field Clem. If they didn't, it's most likely because he wasn't available. I would just have to assume. As Cure is coming in with a proxy 2-axe. The other argument is maybe they felt confident that they didn't need Clem for this series, but again, it still feels risky to do so. So I would have to imagine that maybe Clem was unavailable. But now they're proxy 2-axe here at a Cure. And with this, we're going to be committing... Oh, I'm getting some flashbacks. It's going to be Proxy Marauder. Now, if you watched IM Katowice, if you watched Cure versus Hero in the quarterfinals, then you would know that this is how Cure defeated Hero and knocked him out of IM Katowice a couple of months ago. With this very same build on this very same map. It was on Golden Aura. Also, Shema, papi, Shema. Now, if you remember, a big reason why Hero failed to defend against this was, one, lack of scouting, but two, the greed and the indecisiveness of Hero. Hero, he initially was going for Twilight Council, and he cancelled, went into the Stargate Council. I think he went for, committed into a Robo, but the Robo was so delayed, and things were just so chaotic from the side of Hero. Here, Gerald setting up a shield battery on the low ground. The Zealot has arrived. Probe gets targeted down. Yeah, we're going for the shield battery. Boys, they have to be pulled. But can Geralt even hold on to the natural? He's trying. Yeah, the probes have arrived. Second Marauder does arrive as well. Concussive Shell still not quite done. We do strip the shields from that Zealot, but the shield battery will finish. That's pretty huge, and we're soon going to have an overcharge once that Nexus does complete. Marauder's going to town, going for the pylon. Pylon getting low. Stalker has arrived. So far, Cure, he hasn't lost anything yet. But neither has Geralt, at least when it comes to his units. His army units. So you do pick up a probe. Okay, we're just forcing the energy to be wasted from that shield battery. We're still holding on to that overcharge. We don't want to waste it. Robo's on the way. That's going to be for, I imagine, Immortal production. Boys are being pulled. Oh my god! Boys are being pulled as well. Cure, he's completely all in. He goes to the pylon. Pylon gets shut down. We depower the shield battery. And Geralt, he's in a lot of trouble. He just lost 5 probes. Immortals in production. We're breaking on in. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. One Marauder gets picked up. Oh, and soon to be a second. Second Marauder does not go down. Or barely will be targeted. But the SCVs have arrived. Cure barely keeping those Marauders alive as well. We dive on top of the army. The Immortal's not quite done. Adept goes down. There's only one Stalker. We came with the production. We dive on top of the Immortal as well. And it looks like Cure, he has too much. Geralt's running out of steam, running out of units. GG gets called, and Cure will take the series 2-0. GG, well played. Unfortunate there, Gerald fighting for that natural when in the end his opponent was one base all in. Gerald didn't know that, again, maybe it would have been wiser to just give up on that location, try to hold on to the high ground instead, fought for the natural, and did bleed out a little bit too much as a result. And of course, the trades from Cure were quite impressive. Really good control, really good micro with those Marauders, keeping them alive as he did. GG, well played. Whew. Cure takes the 2-0. Does take the 2-0 here. A solid lead here for Team Liquid, but Cure, he is coming in as arguably the ace player, or I would say the ace player in this current lineup. You could make an argument getting points right now. Oh no. Speaking of the MaxPax versus Elazer, and if you are in the chat, predictions. Predictions are open. Place your bets. Place your bets here on how you believe this will unfold. Who do you favor, Elazer or MaxPax? Game 1 on Oceanborn. You can see the ELO disparity here. MaxPax was 700, Elazer just under 600. And for the most part, I kind of agree with that. Again, I do think that there's quite a bit of there is a bit of a gap between them, but not too much. I would say that Elazer, especially if he comes in with a plan, can bring it to MaxPax. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have Elazer for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have for Sidestorm Na'Vi, MaxPax. Ooh, MaxPax looking fierce today. Serious face going on as we are getting ready for our next matchup in game number 1. And again, my eyes are on Elazer. For now, we're going for a hatch gas pool. Horses take the unnatural natural. MaxPax does get across the map. Does get across the map there. And as we load into Oceanborn, we spoke about this yesterday or even this morning in KSL about how all-ins can be quite commonplace on this map. And as we were saying that, you know, Dark then all in on Oceanborn, just because the third base is a little bit more exposed on Oceanborn. There is no high ground advantage that you would have on other maps, so you can take advantage of that, and all-ins can work out from either side, to be fair. But I'm not sure if Elazer is that kind of player. Like, when I think of Elazer, I think of greed. I think of a player who cuts a lot of corners, drones up heavily, skips spores. And even though Elazer may lose a lot of drones, because he's just mass droning, like, he can afford those losses as well. That's how Elazer has historically, how he's been in the ZVP matchup. But in current era, in modern StarCraft, I wonder how he's adapted. Here we go. This first Overlord is getting out across the map. MaxPax going for a standard opener himself. Nothing too crazy yet. We're soon going to be waiting for our tech of choice once the Cybercore finishes up to see if MaxPax goes for a Stargate or a Twilight Council. From the side of MaxPax, I expect Stargate play. I expect just a standard opener into a 3-base setup. But we'll see if he decides to spice things up. Yeah, based on the pylon placement, it does look like a Stargate. And there it is, Stargate is on the way. Again, the pylon was thrown down closer to the edge of the main. It is to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map, so the Stargate is that much closer to your opponent. If it was something like a Twilight Council, we would want to hide it, so the pylon would be thrown down further back, deeper in the main base to make it more difficult to scout. So there's a bit of a give and take there. So it is going to be an Oracle first here from MaxPax. And this should lead into a third. Meanwhile, Elazer, he's just droning up, keeping up with his opponent. Getting into his Link Queen. It's crazy that Clem isn't playing. I feel like this would have been a win for TL with Clem plus Cure. But now I'm not so sure. Yeah, I definitely do agree with that. I think as I was saying before, because Clem isn't here, I imagine something came up. I imagine Clem just wasn't available here today for personal reasons. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have been fielded. So it is unfortunate that he isn't here, but despite that, you know, it isn't like TL don't have a solid team to fall back on. Cure, Elazer, and SKillous can definitely win it here for their team. I mean, Cure already a strong start, but we'll see. The pressure is now on Elazer. Pressure is now on. Can he keep that momentum going? But now Oracles are moving out. Oracles move out. Adept's going to be camping here at that natural. Still no massive drone damage yet, as we do get one. We get 2 drones here at the third. The positioning from Elazer does get some hull damage on that Oracle. Second Oracle's out. Third Oracle's on the way. MaxPax getting his third base up and running behind this. Is expanding. And is denying mining time at that natural. As the Oracle gets one more drone in the main. Just the one. MaxPax does pull back. Now from here, we should be seeing a Twilight Council and a Forge. Speaking of, there it is. Twilight Council and Forge for +1 and Blink. We could see +1 in Charge, but I don't see MaxPax deviating too much from the norm here. So far, everything looking as it should. Elazer going for a lair first. Around a 450 lair timing, 445-ish. Lair is on the way. Not too early. And I imagine by the time the lair is halfway done, we're going to be throwing down a Roach Warren. I imagine. If there's no Roach Warren, we could go Link Hydra. Definitely. Gases are being taken as we speak. Still droning. It's going to be 4 gases in total for Elazer. If we throw down additional gases, that could be a sign for either Hydras or Aspire. And I believe we have yet to throw down a Roach Warren, by the way. Elazer, what do you have planned? Oracles, they dip in. Good movement here out of MaxPax. Gets another 3 drones, and this is adding up. I think that's 6 drone kills in total. Lair is done. No Roach Warren. Show us what you got. Is it a Spire or a Hydroden? Another gas is taken. And there it is. Hydroden is thrown down. Elazer is going Ling Hydra. Now, Ling Hydra can be quite solid. I mean, it can be fragile against certain unit compositions, but against +1 Blink Stalkers, I do like this from Elazer. It also allows the Zerg player to transition a little bit more seamlessly into Lurker tech, so they can head towards an Infestation bit, head towards Lurkers as well. That is on the table here for Elazer further on down the line. But now I'm going to be relying on Ling Bane Hydra, as MaxPax is getting into his Blink Stalkers. Now, Blink is still halfway done. MaxPax can be active, but he has to be very careful with his movement. He has to make sure he has his Oracles babysitting his army, making sure he does not get surrounded by the Lings. Oh, so we do have a little bit of latency going on. If you do see the latency, it's not on your end. We are casting from a clean feed, and it looks like the clean feed is having some connectivity issues. It's popping up every now and then, so I do apologize for that. I may just reach out. And here we go. The Stalkers are going to be pushing in. Lings are being shot down. Hydra's trading with the Stalkers. MaxPax does pull back. Stalkers getting low. Stalkers getting a bit low. Once again, something get picked up. And as MaxPax is forced back, we do have Banelings being set up for a counterattack, for a run by. Elazer joining up to 69. Nice. But cutting workers, focusing on Ling Bane Hydra on 3 bases. And we are pushing out. MaxPax, he has to try to hold on and wait for his Colossi. First Colossus is on the way. Elazer is committing. He is committing. He's doubling down. And show us the force fields. First couple of force fields are thrown down. Good kiting here against the Banelings. Banelings are being targeted. And the Banelings, they do not get into the mineral line, but the Hydras are breaking through. Elazer, he busts on in. The third base, it's going to be going down. MaxPax zoned away completely. Yeah, that is going to be a kill. 20 probes go down. MaxPax just caught off guard here by how committed we were. Elazer with that kill, the Colossus does arrive, and now is a good moment to back up. Elazer, he will pull back. We'll get the hell out of here. Does come across the 4th base, and he's going for the kill once again. It's going to bleed out a lot of Hydras, but that is going to be a kill on the Nexus. It is going to cost Elazer everything, though. The Ling Hydra, it's all going to be cleaned up. Ooh, a brutal move command there from Elazer. And MaxPax actually has the army supply lead. If MaxPax were to counterattack here and now, then he could maybe get some damage done. But MaxPax is hurting. He's down in workers, he's down in bases, he's supply blocked as well, and we're pushing. This is a good move. Good move here to move out. We need a counterattack. MaxPax catching some Hydras for free. Good pickoffs, good start. 2 Hydras go down. Bathing speed is still on the way, Hydra speed still on the way as well, but it should finish just in time. As we are now up to 2 Colossi. That's a lot of firepower. Elazer, all he needs to do is survive here. Just needs to survive. Good blinks with the Stalkers. Colossi come in. We shave off the Ling Bane. At the same time, Elazer going for another counterattack, going for the Nexus. Ah, but there's a cannon. There's a cannon and a shield battery. MaxPax, he catches some of the queens. 2, 3, 4 queens go down. Elazer, can he hold on? Does come in with some more Ling Bane, but he's being kited to death. The Colossi swiping away, getting so much value here. And Elazer's in trouble. He's bleeding out too much. He's in a lot of trouble here. The creep is receding. More Ling Bane is on the way. Elazer, he just needs time. Trying to go for the surround. But good movement out of MaxPax. Does get eyes on it. Does pull back. And even without a prism to juggle, these Colossi, they're going ham. They're annihilating the Hydras. Oh, and you can see how the pendulum swings from one player to the other. Once we get a handful of Colossi, the Ling Bane Hydra melts. Elazer just cannot engage, cannot collapse on this, not with this small of an army. The power of Ling Bane Hydra is to swarm the army, to get a surround, to come in from multiple angles, but we just don't have the numbers. We don't have enough. A third Colossus arrives. You thought 2 was too much. Now we have 3. And sure, Elazer, he may have killed the third, he may have killed the fourth, but he did not kill MaxPax. GG gets called, and MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew. GG. MaxPax looking ecstatic in the cans. He's so happy. GG again. Very impressive counterattack there from MaxPax. As we did mention, yes, it's true that Elazer was able to get a lot of economic damage done. He killed 20 probes, killed 2 bases. That is true. But what about the counterattack? But here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Elazer for Team Liquid, and in the bottom left, we have MaxPax for Psystorm Na'Vi. Here we go. Just catching up. Can confirm pairings are blind. Yes, the pairings are blind. The way that the format works is that both teams, they submit their lineups. They submit what players they want in which match, like first match, second match, and third match. They blindly do give them to the admins, and then the lineups and the pairings are then revealed thereafter, as Elazer is rushing into the gold. Let's go. We're taking the gold base as the natural. Bold move here by Elazer, and MaxPax, I'm sure, has faced this before. He checks the natural base, sees the lack of expansion, goes in, gets eyes on the timing of the tech, of the gas, as well as the would-be spawning pool, and MaxPax should be checking that gold. Should be checking. I'm curious how he's going to punish it. Now, we've seen this punish in a couple of different ways. We have seen Twilight Council Glaive Adept responses. We've seen some heavy Oracle builds as well. I'm curious how MaxPax will respond, as he's going to have to. For now, it is a gate expand into Cybercore, yet to commit to any kind of tech. Now, another way we've seen this punished is for Protoss players to open up 2 gate, to delay their expansion and go for a 2-gate opener for Mass Adept early on. But that is not the case for MaxPax. Not here. We go. Here we go, as again, Elazer, he's just settling into his build. I believe MaxPax did confirm the goal base with that probe. At least I hope he did. Cybercore is done. Going for our tech of choice. We cancel Warp Gate, and there it is, Stargate Opener out of MaxPax. Nothing too crazy yet. So far, everything's looking as it should. Stargate Opener into Oracles, into a 3rd base. But we shall see as the first Adept is moving out. But again, this is just a regular Adept timing. There's nothing special about this aggression, which means Elazer should be able to keep up. He should be able to maintain his goal. Lings are in position. MaxPax gonna try and focus on some drones, and it looks like he does get one. One drone goes down. But the onus, the pressure is on MaxPax here to try to punish this. Oh, we actually can shoot from the high ground. Okay. Get a second drone. More Adepts have arrived. 2 Adepts do one-shot workers. And speaking of... Ooh, bit of a missed target fire there from MaxPax. Does hit the Queen. Has to pull back. Does pull back. Oracles are on the way. And for the time being, it looks like, yeah, MaxPax is just playing a standard game. Oh. So he almost gets another drone. Does shade back. And there is the follow-up. What do we have? We have 2 gates, 3 gates on the way, and a Twilight Council. This looks like Glaive Adepts. This looks like 4-gate Glaive Adepts as a follow-up. We could go a couple of different directions with something like Charge. I'm curious, actually, as we do focus on another 2 drones, I'm curious if maybe Charge would be a little bit more viable here because of the hybrid base, right? The hybrid base does give you extra minerals to work with, so that could be a possibility, but I'm still leaning towards Glaives. Yes, we have taken extra gases. Yeah. We have it taken them. Twilight Council is finishing up. And there it is. Glaives is on the way. Now, Elazer has yet to scout. He's yet to confirm. Is going for a Roach Warren. And it should finish in time for the push. But how many Roaches are we going to be working with? Hopefully, Elazer isn't too greedy. because this is going to hit quite hard. Oh boy. Now, for those that are curious, this is not an all-in from MaxPax. It is a follow-up aggressive build, and it does have to pay for itself because the downside of what MaxPax is doing is that he's delaying Blink. He's delaying Blink, he's delaying Forge, he's delaying +1 as a result. We're delaying quite a lot here in favor of Glaive Adepts as we get into a third base, so this does need to get damage done. As the Oracle comes in, we get another 7, 8. Oh my god! 8 drones go down already. Very nice pickoffs. Very nicely done there by MaxPax. Meanwhile, Elazer, he's massing roaches, and do you see what I see? I don't see drones in the production tab. Elazer, he's not remaking the drones he just lost. He's all in. Elazer, he's going all in, and now I'm concerned because Glaive Adepts defensively, I'm not so sure. I'm not so confident here in those Adepts. Dark Shrine is on the way. That I do like. Dark Shrine is all the way behind this Adepts. They shade on out. But Elazer, he's just amassing more roaches, amassing more lings. Speaking of, Lings get across the map. They deny a shield battery. Big pickoff. We're delaying shield battery production. Adepts, they shade on behind the army. They trade well against the Lings. But the Adepts, they're being cornered. They barely do avoid those biles. Just pointing out that the Dark Shrine is on the way. Now, what's important here is that there's no lair. There's no lair, there's no detection. It's a hatch-based all-in, which means DTs could just end the game. Like, they would just shut down the push. Do force a recall. Yeah, Queens have arrived. Adepts going to be chasing them down. The Queens are on their own. No creep, by the way. No creep, which means no transfuse. Queens are going down. Yeah, one after the other. And the Dark Shrine is going to finish, by the way. Elazer, we're running out of time. Running out of time with this all-in. Again, we're still down to 35 workers. The Ling Roach Ravager does dive in. Going for the pylon, but DTs have been morphed in. And the DTs are going ham. They focus down the Ravagers. The army is here, but there's no answer to the Dark Templar. We still get damage done. We're killing pros, but there it is. GG gets called. There is no answer. The Invisible Man is too good of a defense, and MaxPax takes the 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a hatch-based all-in. There was no lair, so DTs in that situation was the correct answer. I was concerned that before the Dark Shrine would complete, that maybe Elazer could be able to break through, but he took so long. Even though the Adepts could not actually engage with the Roach Ravager head-on, MaxPax did a great job at buying time. He did shade out with his Adepts, and he was just forcing back the army, forcing Elazer to be busy dealing with those Adepts while he was buying time for the Dark Shrine. GG. GG, well played. Oh. And with that, we have a tied up series. We have a tied series here. Cure takes a 2-0, MaxPax takes a 2-0, and we are 2-2 apiece. It's all going to come down to SKillous versus Spirit. And to be fair, I think most of us assumed that this would be the case, right? Like, Cure is a heavy favorite, MaxPax is a heavy favorite. They're both the ace players for their respective teams. But now, SKillous and Spirit, that's an interesting one. I do think that they're both comparable in skill. SKillous, of course, being top 3 Protoss in Europe, he's top 3, just under Showtime and MaxPax, I would say. Spirit, likewise, top 3 Terran in Europe, you know, just behind Big Gabe and Clem. You could make an argument that Spirit has been more on fire recently. Like, Spirit has been looking very impressive, and I've even said at times, especially last year, that Spirit had surpassed Kira Marine and surpassed Big Gabe. But likewise, SKillous has also been improving, so this is going to be an interesting one. Now, if this is a 1-1, as a reminder, it's a best of 2. It's not a best of 3, it's a best of 2. If this is a 1-1 score, this will lead to the ace match. It could even lead into Cure versus MaxPax in a best of 1. And I feel like that's best case scenario. Like, I feel like we all want to see it. We all want this to go to the ace match. Regardless of how this goes, it would be amazing to see Cure and MaxPax face off. But at the same time, if this SKillous, you're so big. As here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner on Ghost River, we have SKillous for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have Spirit for Psystorm Na'Vi. Here we go. Oh, vámonos, papi. We have our Terran versus Protoss, and I should have mentioned that again, game 1 is on Ghost River. This is going to be an interesting one. Ghost River, of course, being a very aggressive map. We've seen all-in after all-in after all-in. Speaking of all-ins, Proxy Racks. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself oh, that's the second SCV. It's going to be a Proxy 2 Racks here from Spirit. I'm curious if this is going to be Proxy Marauder, because with 2 SCVs, can we mine through those minerals? Can we mine through those minerals to open up that attack path? How many, is it 2 or 3 minerals deep? I'm gonna have to double check. I'm not quite too sure how many workers we need to mine through those minerals to break through into that ramp, as we are taking gases back at home. Raxes are soon to complete. We'll see how Spirit does bring this all together here, as SKillous does confirm that the Raxes are missing. Yeah, safety zealots on the way, and we're going, not, my apologies, I assumed it was going to be Proxy Marauder, but we have Marines on the way. At least 1 Marine here. Interesting. And it is 2 mineral patches. Okay. But it takes 2 rotations to mine through. Did we think this through? No shot, Spirit, we needed 4 SCVs. Okay, so we have to go the long way. Oh, this is awkward. We have to go the long way around. The math not quite adding up here for Spirit, as we did need 4 SCVs, not 2. Looks can be deceiving, as we did have to take two passes to actually mine through that, and now we're transitioning. Okay. Okay, so we're transitioning back at home. The all-in has ended. Oh, it's a little bit awkward. But yeah, okay. We have a game. We have a factory on the way. We do see SKillous going to be making this a little bit awkward. Spirit, he's racing back home with his Marines. Oh no. Did we just come up with this like off the fly? Is that what just happened? Spirit's like, you know what? What if I just proxy? What if I just do this? Oh no. This is gonna be my PSA for the people in the chat. Practice your builds. Just oh no. As yeah, we have high ground vision. We're pushing up into the main base. 1 Marine goes down already here. And we're getting in trouble. We have to pull the boys. Spirit in quite a lot of trouble here. 2nd Marine goes down. We're down to 2. 2 Marines left. Well, lost mining time here for Spirit. Cyclone is almost halfway done, but we need time. And a 2nd Stalker has arrived. SKillous punishing this so hard. Oh no. Is punishing this. Thankfully, the Cyclone is going to arrive. Is coming out, and SKillous has quite a lead. He's happily on 2 bases. He's reducing on 2 Nexi as well. Is going to be pulling back with those Stalkers. Doesn't take any hits. And we're going to be able to settle into our game. Meanwhile, Spirit unfortunately is stuck on 1 base. His CC is on the way, but he's stuck on that 1 base. Going to have a hard time expanding, as the goal for SKillous is going to be to contain Spirit for as long as he can. I see SKillous chill in the chat. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know what to say. I mean, don't think we've quite seen this scenario before. Regardless, we're getting into this, going for a bit of a gateway explosion. Getting up to 4 gateways for SKillous. Robo follow-up, interesting. With that Robo, we can head into a fast robotics bay for Colossus production. I do actually like that quite a bit. It's quite tech heavy here for SKillous, and it will reduce map control as he wouldn't have Blink to work with. But rushing into tech is a good way to be greedy here, to try to punish Spirit for his more awkward opener. We'll see as the Prism is on the way. No bay yet. Okay, no bay from SKillous. We're going Robo into a Twilight Council. Just a safer build. Tank gets spotted. Spirit able to expand. Spirit able to expand, and Spirit is going to try his best here to try to recover. Try to bounce back. Stabilizing on his 2 bases. Prism is moving out. We catch a Marine. We can threaten the mineral line. Thankfully, there is a tank in position. We have our tank. Spirit, he's spotted the drop, so he's maneuvering around. Ready for the drop. So we head towards the main. Tank gets a shot off. And SKillous won't get much done here. So good defense by Spirit. He doesn't kill the Prism, but Does minimize damage. Does hold on. With this map control, SKillous is going to be able to get into his third base. Ooh, Liberator goes down. Doesn't get much done. Nice pick off from SKillous. Going for additional gateways. Not going for Blink. Interesting. Going to be skipping it entirely. Going for Charge instead. Rushing into Charge. Forge is on the way for +1. SKillous still being as annoying as possible. Dropping back into the natural. Getting whatever value he can. There is a tank though. Barely out of range of one of those stalkers. Oh, as we target the gas. No! Spirit targeting his own gas geyser there, and thankfully doesn't kill it, but doesn't get any damage done on the stalkers. SKillous looking quite comfortable, and Spirit, we need to bring it together. We need to calm things down. Por favor. We need to calm down, take a breath, bring it back. As Spirit is working on his third CC in the main. As I say, that third CC is going to be delayed here. Again, SKillous doing such a great job being so active with this drop. Whether it's picking up SCVs, as well as keeping tabs on the main army of Spirit. When we see Spirit trying to hunt him down, does bait out the stim. But SKillous will get away. Meanwhile, behind this, SKillous, he's fully saturated on 3 bases. And now we're taking up. Charge is done, but now we have Blink on the way. Dark Shrine, the Bay as well for Colossus production. Everything and anything you could hope for is on the way for SKillous. Now, because he's taking so much, his army is still a little bit lackluster. We're lacking splash damage for now. Spirit can still bounce back as he's building up his tank-based army. For now, though, we can see that Spirit is more concerned with expanding and establishing his third. Staying on his side of the map. Giving SKillous the time he needs to tech up the way that he is. And right now, the onus is on SKillous to make sure he keeps tabs on this army. We need to make sure we are able to get an eye on any kind of move out to respond to Spirit. The Observer helps with that. We're right on top of the army. Colossus production has commenced. 4th base is on the way. We have a decent tank setup here, and I'm sure Spirit is maybe hoping that maybe SKillous overextends and pushes into the third, into those 4 tanks. That's maybe the best case scenario for Spirit, is to fight on his terms. But SKillous is chilling, you know? He has his army spread out around the bases to try to catch any kind of drop play. Still taking a 4th, Accent Thermal Lance, +1 attack. Blink for DTs on the way as well. Like, SKillous, he's in no rush. Spirit's like, come at me. SKillous like, nah, I'm good. I'll just chill outside, I'm good. I'll just expand, take up. 2nd Robo's on the way. And at least Spirit is able to establish his 3rd base, that is true, but the problem is that as he's establishing his 3rd, as he's turtling up, SKillous is doing a great job at taking advantage of how defensive and how passive Spirit is being. Like, this is the correct way to play this out. If your opponent's being defensive like this, you want to be greedy, you want to expand, you want to take up. You want to get further ahead. Oh, as SKillous is even taking a 5th. Now, we have to be careful not to be too greedy, is what I will say. 5th base is on the way for SKillous. He's now going to be up 2 bases compared to Spirit. Like, we have to be careful. There is such a thing as being too greedy, so we'll see as we're... With double expanding, by the way. He's getting a 6th. SKillous, calm down. Taking a 5th and a 6th base at the same time. 2nd Forge for double upgrades. 2nd Rover for Mass Colossus. At this point, we may as well throw down a Fleet Beacon, right? Fleet Beacon, Stargate, get ready for Sky Toss. At the same time, though, calm down. As we see Spirit now moving up with his drop, but SKillous does get eyes on this. I mean, they spot each other. Now, what's important here is that, sure, Spirit may not have a 4th, and he may be stuck on 3 bases, but he does have an army. And Spirit will have a comparable army to try to push out and maybe even go for a kill move. Spirit doesn't have a bank. Spirit doesn't really have much sustain right now, but he can still take a fight. Speaking of, SKillous pushing into these tanks. Does have before, does get a couple of medevacs. Oh, but pushing into this tank line here, I'm not so sure. Yeah, Zealots are going down. We're running out of buffer. We do get a couple of tanks on low ground. And SKillous, he's not backing off. Goes for another wave of Zealots. He wants to commit. DT's going ham. Oh my god, the DT gets a tank. The Dark Templar, it's on the army. Double drop moves out, and SKillous. Again, he's not backing off. Drop does come in. SKillous can recall if need be. As it pushes forward, there are those 2 tanks on the high ground, by the way. But we're forcing our way through. First Colossus is going to go down. We're going to drop off in the main base. We get down, we get another 2 tanks. And it looks like SKillous, he may just have too much. The boys are being pulled into Colossi. You never want to see that. We lose a base, but it doesn't matter. SKillous has got, what, 6, 7 bases. It's all good. As he does break through. DT in the main base on top of the tanks as well. And GG gets caught. Spirit just has nothing left. And SKillous takes game number 1. Whew. A pretty comfortable game. A pretty comfortable game there for SKillous. That was a bit of an awkward one. Winding it back, it was just so unfortunate that Spirit started things off with not the most practiced of proxies. He went proxy 2 racks, and I think he just assumed that each mineral patch was 5 minerals, which I guess is a fair assumption. But that also tells us that maybe he hasn't actually done that. I can't imagine he will. I can't imagine. No. I'm just catching up, and here we go. We're diving in and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have, for Team Liquid, SKillous. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have Spirit for Psystorm Na'Vi. Here we go, and the pressure is now on Spirit. 1 more loss, and that will be the end of the series. It is first of 4 wins, and Team Liquid, they need 1 more win here to close it out. If Spirit wins this game, then we get an ace match. We will get that ace match. Here we go, and I want to believe that we can get that, we can have that. And for now, Spirit does not send any workers across the map. Let's go. No proxy, no shenanigans, straight up, racks expand. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. It's going to be more of an economic opener. Meanwhile, SKillous, interesting movement with his probe. I don't know if you can see it on the minimap, but he is moving and skirting around the edge of the map here towards the left-hand side, avoiding the Zonaga. Is coming in with his probe. As Spirit is going for an economic build, by the way. And with the probe getting here so quickly, he can actually try and delay the CC. Does come in. Being a nuisance, second SCV has to come in. Now, depending on the probe control here, we could force the CC to be misplaced and delay it a little bit here, force it to lift. And the probe being an annoyance. And again, Spirit, he is going for the command center, and he's forced to throw it down in his main base. So a nice little win here for SKillous. The CC is still on the way, but now has to float over instead. It's going to take that much longer. So it's going to be a little bit more inefficient, or a little bit less efficient here for Spirit. But overall, getting into his build. You know, back at home, SKillous doing the same, going for his gate expand. For his gate expand, or gate cyber expand even. Interesting. SKillous mining through the minerals, by the way. His probe is on the right-hand side. But it looks like he is spotted by the SCV. There's a bit of like a worker battle going on the right-hand side of the minimap. Both players keeping tabs on each other. It did look like SKillous was trying to be a little bit cheeky. Oh, sorry, it looked like Spirit was trying to be a little bit cheeky, but SKillous does get eyes on him. Yeah, the probes, they meet up with each other. So if either player was planning to go for a proxy starport or a proxy stargate, then that won't be possible anymore. As SKillous is going for a robo opener once again. Very interesting. Okay, it's the same build. Robo first into 2 gateways. So usually I would say that with this Robo Opener we can go for a fast Bay into fast Colossus, but based on the previous game, this could just be a War Prism again. A War Prism for some Stalker Harass, leading to a third base. I'm curious if that's the case. And yep, and there it is. There's that Prism. So the same build 2 games in a row for SKillous. War Prism's going to be moving out. It's going to be harassing with Stalkers as he expands and gets into his further tech. Meanwhile, Spirit spicing it up, going for a 1-1-1 follow-up, but he's going into Banshees. Now, what's unfortunate here is that because of SKillous' Robo Opener, he has access to Observers. He will have access to Detection. Doesn't know he needs it, but we'll be able to get into that if he does Scout. I see the chat. I still believe I like more inefficient. True, true. As the Prism does go over the Zolnaga, we do catch it. Good positioning here from Spirit, going for the Prism. Does go for the dive, but we do not get it. Slick move from SKillous. Does keep the Prism alive by going for the pillar. By getting onto the high ground. We are pushing out. At the same time, the Banshee going to be skirting around the edge of the map. Does skirt around the edge. SKillous going for the natural, which means he will not scout the production, will not see the Tech Lab researching. Not yet, at least. Yeah, the Marines will zone this away. Nice juggling here from SKillous. Does get a couple of Marines going for the Warping as well. Uh-oh. SKillous is going to commit. Does break in. Tank has arrived. And with this, SKillous does bust into the main base. At the same time, though, we get across the map. SKillous forcing the Unsiege, getting 7 SCV kills. And gets eyes on the Banshee. Speaking of, Banshee is across the map as well, but we have a shield battery. Oh, the Banshee doesn't get anything done. Unable to DPS through that shield battery. Observers in position, Stalkers get warped in. This is a rough start for Spirit. That's 9 probe kills. And I believe Spirit only killed Zealots there. Yeah, that Prism, it's full of Stalkers. They all survived. They all did survive, and SKillous, he comes out ahead in these openers. I mean, thankfully we still have the... Oh, I spoke too soon. I was going to say, thankfully we still have the Banshees alive. Technically, still barely alive. But we haven't gotten any value, and SKillous, he gets across the map, getting more SCV kills. And 2 more SCVs go down. Behind the SKillous is going to charge. Charge is on the way. A massive gateway explosion. I believe that was 7 gates in production. I believe that's 8 in total. Oh, sorry, 9 in total even. That's a lot of gateways. And you can see the trades here. Oh, 3 Zealots and 2 probes. That's all that SKillous has lost so far. As we catch the Banshee. Not like this. Again, the saving grace for Spirit was that he had kept the Banshees alive. They could still gain value over time, but they are hunted down. I believe there's still 1 Banshee in between the natural and the third, but currently trapped. Scan does not get eyes on the gateway explosion. That's a lot of Zealots. And Spirit is going to be stuck at home. I mean, soon he's going to be active again. We're waiting for the medevacs. Once the medevacs pop out, we can go for some drop play. We can break free. Until then, SKillous getting into his bay, getting into Colossus production. Spirit getting ready for his push. And the Colossi are not ready yet, by the way. Not ready yet. Spirit amassing his army. I believe there is an observer parked outside. Yeah, there's an observer right outside the natural. So this move out is spotted. Yeah, there's the observer. SKillous sees everything. Oh, the observer gets skinned. Good pickup. Observer goes down. You can see SKillous getting ready for a Zealot counterattack, but now he doesn't know when and where the army is going to push. Spirit going to be committing. does come in. We have a Prism Prime to go into the main. But can SKillous even defend against this push without those Zealots? We need a little bit more time. Colossi still on the way. And rocks are getting knocked down. The boys have been pulled. Let's go. It's a 2-base all-in. It's all or nothing here for Spirits. One way or another, the game is about to end. Either he kills SKillous or dies trying. Here we go. The Colossus does make it. Overcharge is popped. SCVs are going down, and we get a full surround. Zelsay coming from behind. They don't quite get on top of the tanks. The Colossi going ham, and we are breaking through. The tanks are going down. Yeah, the angle from the Zels was brutal, and we take down all 3 tanks. We have reinforcements coming in, but we still have the Colossus. And SKillous, he's shutting this down. The Liberators are coming in, but it's too little too late. The tanks all fall. We'll still have a decent Marine count, but we're about to have 2 Colossi. The Banshee finally goes down. Yeah, SKillous just too well prepared for this. Not being too greedy whatsoever. GG gets called, and SKillous will take the 2-0, claiming the win here for Team Liquid, for himself and for his team. GG. Ah, Bappy. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Team Liquid, Secure, Elazer, and SKillous. They do claim the win here in the end, 4-2. Congratulations. My condolences to Psystorm Na'Vi. They did put up a fight. They did play out quite a series as well. Again, MaxPax was able to get some wins on the board, of course, leading his team. Gerald did have a bit of a harder time against Cure. Likewise, Spirit didn't have his best performance against SKillous either, and it was a bit of a shame. Again, I don't think that either game 1 or game 2 from Spirit really is reflective of what he has to offer. Maybe just having a bit of an off day, especially we don't have to talk about game 1. We don't have to talk about it. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe just having an off day. Regardless, GG, well played. That's a big win for Team Liquid, and I wish the best to Psystorm Na'Vi in the coming weeks, in the coming rounds. As a reminder, it's only round 1. There's 11 weeks. There's 11 rounds of WTL. Plenty more chances to bounce back and to climb the ranks, climb the standings in WTL. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we return, we will have our second match of the night. It's going to be Starlight Twinkle versus Big Basilisk. Or is it Basilisk Big? See you soon. See you soon.